Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालां पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातदहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम् जन्मेश्वर्यासुरताश्रिभिर्यद्मानं मदः पुमान् नैवर्हति अविधातं वै त्वयं किञ्चन गोचर ॐ पूर्णमद्य पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पुनश्च पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांतो स्वामीति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांतो स्वामीति नामिने नामस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा नमो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंद सहोदितो गौरुदाय पुष्पन्तो चित्रसंधो तमोदो हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय एसेंबल भक्त वृंद की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि वो हरे कृष्णा Okay, Hare Krishna. So we have right now 11 devotees on the call. Today should be the last class on Isopanisad. So we'll try to finish on time. And then maybe the last part of the class today, you can talk about how many extra sessions do we need to do to summarize everything. I was just looking at the total number of slides. And I saw that, I have almost like 115 slides just for 18 verses. So for sure, we try to capture as much as we can, but it's not possible to also cover everything under Bhakti Sastri. But for sure, you all are receiving more than I received when I did my Bhakti Sastri. That part I can tell for sure. So that's the benefit, when we do the course on a very small format, like we are doing. Everything is customized and everything is for our need. So thank you so much once again for being on this journey. It has been almost a year now. Almost 1 year since we started it. So we'll just try to get into the discussion. So the last part of the verse where devotee is putting very heartfelt prayer to the Lord and asking that, my dear Lord, kindly destroy all of my sin. So we went through the verse, and this verse, as we see here, it says that Yodhi asamaj juhuranam eno. This is beautiful verse. Let us read it once again. I see some message on the Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh. Agnenya supathare yasman vishwani deve vayunani vidwan yodhi asmaj juhuronam eno juhuronam eno Bhuisitam tenam yuktim vidhema. Such a nice prayer. Oh my Lord, as powerful as fire. Agne nae supatha. Please lead me on the Supatha, on the right path. The bracket, it says here liberation, but as we have been talking, that liberation also means, going back to home, back to Krishna. Omnipotent one, with many pastime, you know all my actions and thought. Please destroy, bracket burn, all my sins that hinder my progress towards you. So that's the essence. That is why we have to kind of segment that discussion to understand what are the hindrance we have towards Lord. So that's the basically, point we are trying to learn. So we studied that there are some gross anarthas, and these gross anarthas are done for either our physical or emotional need, or for physical or emotional need of others. So sukhokritam, dukhokritam, something that is being done because we have certain, type of suffering. So we want to get rid of that suffering, and then we act. And sometimes we act for search of pleasure also, not necessarily we are in a a situation of being suffered, but we have a desire to enjoy. So sometimes in that way also we end up having sins. So it doesn't matter either it is for our defense or it is for our pleasure, we end up doing the gross sin. But we also talked that, and then the result of the sin is basically, it comes through a cycle. So some of the suffering that we are going through right now is result of some of the karma that we did. And so there are three causes of, in summarized way, there are three causes of suffering: immediate cause, remote cause, and ultimate cause. So immediate cause is our, immediate action that we are doing. And then there is remote cause, which is coming from our birth, which is coming from our past karma, which is coming from birth after birth. And then ultimate cause, which is basically a certain degree of suffering that is sanctions by Supreme Personality of Godhead that we have to go through. So immediate cause, remote cause, and ultimate cause. And there are multiple reason for us to suffer. So gross sin or sin, which is basically for the sensual pleasure or for our personal protection. And we talked that as a devotee, as a aspiring devotee, we are not really engaged in too much of the gross sin. Still, there might be a little bit here and there, but overall, we are not part of any gross sin if we are sincere. Then what happens is that then we are doing anartha. And anarthas are not seen, by the way. Make a note. Anarthas are basically some of the resistance that we have while we are cultivating bhakti. Okay, so these anarthas are very, very applicable to what we go through. As a devotee, we don't do gross sin, but now we are very much in a bhakti. So dukhokriti, sukhokriti, nama aprad, and then bhaktya, muktya kriti. That's the fourth one, where one is doing shin while one is in the process of devotional service. So we are not, advanced devotee, or we are not right there at the, stature of a very advanced devotee. We are in a process. So, all of us have different consciousness, and we are acting as per that consciousness. So there are some anarthas that we do. So this is very important to understand what are the anartha, the type of anartha that we do are basically these four categories. Asat Trishna, which is thirst for impermanent, anything that is not permanent. Still there is thirst for that, there is desire for that. And we talked about desire for the material objects, desire for the heavenly comforts, mystic power and liberation. And then Hirdaya Dorbalyam, weakness of the heart. Hirdaya Dorbalyam. And then that also has four category. And then Tattva Vibhrama, misunderstanding of the spiritual truth. And that is basically who we are, uh, who the Supreme Personality of uh, Godhead is, and also sometimes doubting the process of devotional service. Oh, Nam Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Suddha Nitya Mukta Vinatva Nam Namino. How come this word Krishna is Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha? It is source of all the happiness. Or it's how the word Krishna is none different than Krishna himself. Or how by hearing, we can get all the understanding about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So not having, enough faith, and for sure, nobody can say that I have sufficient faith. At least I can say I don't have sufficient faith on all the limbs of, devotional service, and then also having the misunderstanding related to the subjects we are unfavorable to Krishna consciousness, thinking that maybe somebody before could not understand this thing well, and they put it in a category where it's unfavorable. I think this thing can still help me. And one of the very simple, typical example is our association, who we associate, how much we open ourselves, what is the degree of engagement with the people who are not cultivating the process of Krishna consciousness. And then aparadha. And the aparadha, over all aparadha that we do, those are the aparadha against holy name, 10 offenses against the holy name. Whenever we chant the holy name, we talk about this 10 offenses, and then the offense against the deity, and then offense against the devotee, Vaishnava aparadha, and then offenses to other living entity, Jiva aparadha. So these are subtler anarthas. So gross sin is gross, okay? And we have here some subtle anarthas. So these anarthas, depending on how much we are advanced into the process of bhakti, that degree it will appear to us. If we are not very advanced in the process of bhakti, then none of these things will appear to you as an anartha. None of those things will appear to you as unwanted. You will say, what's the problem? What's the problem, talking to somebody, who is not trying to be Krishna conscious? Or what is the problem? If I understand Ganesh and Shiva, or Durga or Kali or Krishna or Ram, all of them are at the same status. So all of that, is basically depending on the degree of sensitivity, depending on the degree of advancement we have made in the process. And it's also very important, these things don't take it in a very lighter way. I know it's very important message that we are talking about. That some of the stuff at this status of consciousness might not make sense to us. But when we elevate, then when we look back, we see that yes, in my life, I was doing every day in, day out, Vaishnava Aparadha. When I started my, bhakti, day in, day out, I was doing, all different types of, aparadhas. So these are called subtler aparadha because that might not be very clear to one if we are not very sensitive. So there are some steps given also that how to basically minimize, those aparadha. So asat trishna, taste for impermanent. The injunctions are given that by following the nectar of instruction, verse 2, we can get rid of this Asat Trishna. And Hridaya Darbalyam, that we can overcome by following the verse number 4. So verse number 2 is Atehara, Prayasasya, Prajalpa, Niyamagraha. That's the verse number 2. And verse number 4 is basically Dadati, Pratigrihanati. So we'll get to that verse, Guhyam Akhyati, Prikshati, Bhunkate, Bhunkate Chaiva, Sadvidhir, Priti Lakshanam. So we'll come to that verse and we'll little bit try to understand. So NOI 4 is the remedy for overcoming the Hridaya Darbalyam. And nectar of instruction verse 2, Atihara Prayasasya Prajalpa Niyamagraha, that is the remedy for Asat Trishna. And Tattva Vibhrama is basically removed by our surrender to instruction of our spiritual master. How much we are abiding with his teaching, how much we have faith in Sastra, such as right now we are going through Isopanisad. So how much faith we put into the instructions that we are receiving from Shastra, and then how much faith we have in devotees of the Lord. So having chastity and surrender to Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, slowly and slowly, because these are the sources of knowledge. So Guru Vakya, Shastra Chakshu, we slowly and slowly overcome the illusion that we have about this subject, and then we overcome it. And then apradha is coming from all the apradha that we do. It's coming because of the not having enough control on Vani and Vachu Begam and Sakrodha Jiva Begam, Udarupasta Begam, Itan Begam, Viseda Dhira, Sarvam Apim Prithvim Shashishyas. So if we don't have control over Vachu Begam, Mansakrodha Jiva Begam, Udarupasta Begam, these 6 urges, if it's not controlled, then we end up having offenses against holy name and Lord forms and devotees and other living entity. So we saw here that apradha that we do, the offenses that we do against Lord name and his form and devotees and other living being, the remedy for that is I know I won, which is Vacho Begam, Mansakrodha Begam, Jiva Begam, Udrapastha Begam, Ethan Begam, Yobisahita Dira, Saram Apimam, Prithvim Sasishyat. So Vacho Begam, the urge of his speech, demand of the mind, the impulse of the anger, and the vehemence of the tongue, the urge of the belly, and the agitation of the genital. A sober person must have control on these 6 urges. That person is dhira. And once we have control over these 6 urges, then we'll overcome the offenses against the holy name. And then Atihara Prayasasya Prajalponyam Agraha Jan Sangasya Lolam Cha Sadvidhir Bhakti Vinashati. This is NOI 2. And that, if we have control over our Atihara means how much to eat and how much to collect. Today is Pra appearance day, at the same time, Ekadasi. So most of us might have fasted until noon. And then from now, we are going to have Ekadasi worth. So fasting with Ekadasi Prasadam. We just broke our fasting with Ekadasi Prasadam. And then from now, we are going to be on Ekadasi. So So, we are trying to basically control our eating propensity. How much to eat, what not to eat. So, Hara and Prayasas over endeavoring, Prajalpa, unnecessary mundane talk, Niyamagraha. Niyamagraha also has two meaning. Accepting something which is against the practice of devotional service too soon, without putting enough thought, very easily accepting the certain rules. At the same time, even knowing the importance of certain rule, not ready to accept it. So both side, accepting too soon certain injunctions of the Shastra and not being able to accept both of them, or a niyamagraha. And then Jan Sanghas, we talked about it, that associating with the people who are not striving for a spiritual consciousness. And then Lolyam Cha, greed for mundane achievement. And that is basically remedy for Asat Trishna. Okay, you can see that Asat Trishna, that we have the thrust for impermanent subject, that we have for the material object, for heavenly comfort, mystic power and liberation, all of that answers right here. By practicing Atyahara Prayasas Prajalpaniya Magra Janasanghasya Lolamcha, we overcome uh, our weakness toward anarthas. And then the NOI 4 is talking about Hirday Darbalyam, how we can overcome the Hirday Darbalyam. Dadati Pratigrinati, Guhyam Akhati Prichanti, Bhunkate Bhojte Chayam, Sadviktim Priti, Sadvidhim Priti Lakshanam. These are the six vidhi, these are the six method of Priti Lakshanam, of the loving exchange. What are that? Dadati, to offer gift. Pratigrihnati, to accept gift. Guhyam Akhyati, revealing our mind, whatever challenges that we are going through in the process of bhakti, revealing that to a sincere and serious devotee and asking Prabhu, I'm going through such and such challenge, can you kindly help me overcome it? And then Prikshati, inquiring in confidentiality, means once we receive the instruction, trying to also follow it. And then bhunkate means eating or accepting prasada, or even overall control on our eating propensity. And then bhujate chaivam, inviting devotee at our house to feed prasad. So by doing these 6 items, the weakness of heart that we have, the hridaya darbalyam that we have, that will go away. So that's what we want to talk about here. That asat trishna that we have, NOI2, hridaya darbalyam, NOI4, and apradha that we have against holy name, Lord's form, devotees, and jiva, that will go by NO1. And then overall, all the illusion and confusion we have about the different aspect of devotional service, that will be overcome by taking shelter of Guru Shastra and Sadhu. So these 4 kinds of anarthas are basically subtler anartha. So let's go to the last one. So last one is basically subtle most anartha, subtlest layers of anartha, and that is pratishtha asa, desire for prestige. And this one is coming from Mana Siksha, that is written by Raghunath Das Goswami. So in verse number 7, Raghunath Das Goswami talks about that devotee in the very beginning stage, they might have some propensity of engaging into the sinful activity, but as they are engaged into the process of bhakti, that gross sinful activity is very much stopped. But as we are trying to cultivate bhakti, there are some weeds, and those 4 anartha, the subtler anartha that we talked about, asat trishna, hridaya, darbalyam, tattva, vibram, and nam, aprad or apradha, those are basically like weeds. Those weeds will grow as we are trying to, cultivate the bhakti. And as devotee have been cultivating the bhakti, and then we saw NY 2 for Asat Krishna, NY 4 for Hridaya Daurbalyam, and then Guru Sastan Sadhu for overall illusion that we have, and then the aparadh that we do against name, form, Vaishnav and devotee. For that NOI to Vacha Begum, Mansa Krodha Begum, Jiva Begum, Udarpasta Begum. We saw if we have control of all these 18 items, then slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, we overcome those anarthas. So now we are talking about devotee who are very advanced. Okay, that devotee do not have trace of a gross sinful activity. That devotee, the devotee that we are talking about, I don't know who that devotee is, but let's see that devotee who has overcome all the subtler anartha, no Asat Krishna, no Hridaya Daurbalyam, no Tattva Vibhrama, and no Apradha at all. So that person, that devotee has really achieved a lot. But then Raghunath Goswami says in Manasiksha that this stage comes. And at this stage, basically, this is the subtlest layer of anartha, where one is now very much desiring to receive the prestige. Okay, so what is the this is the verse, but for sake of this class, just don't get into the verse. So this verse starts saying that Pratistha Dristha Swapach Ramani me hirdi natet. So Swapach Ramani me hirdi natet. Pratistha asa drista Swapach Ramani me hirdi natet. Katham sadhu prema asparsati shuchiretan nanu manah sada tum sevasya prabhu daita samantam patulam yathatam niskashya tvaritam ihatam vishyati shaha. So Pratistha Asa, the devotee basically has conquered all the subtler anartha, and he has come to this stage where he is now expecting that, oh, see how much advancement I have made, how far I have come into the process of bhakti. And then he is expecting that people should recognize him, should appreciate him, should give him respect, and should understand how advanced he has become. Okay, so since he has overcome all of this anartha, he has this expectation for pratishtha. And this verse says that pratistha asa drista swapach ramani me hirdi natet. So swapach ramani is swapach basically dog ramani women. So this desire for prestige is compared as unchastity dog-eating women. So devotee had advanced so far, and now he is in a stage where he is expecting some pratisthasa, some respect. So one may overcome the gross and subtle anartha, but the problem is that he thinks that people should give me respect that I deserve. I have actually become advanced and overcome all the gross and subtle anartha. Why are people are not recognizing me? Which means we see that devotee, of course, have advanced a lot, but he sees his advancement. He is seeing his devotion and not being able to see others' devotion. Whatever degree of advancement one has made, not able to see others, progress towards Krishna. So Raghunath Das Goswami is saying that this type of expectation is a rightful expectation. Why? Because he deserves it. A person deserves it. So actually, he is expecting to get what he deserves. It's not something that he is desiring who he doesn't deserve. So that's his rightful expectation. He's not like the hypocrite who is trying to hide his anartha from others. So he is no longer being hypocritical. Okay, he is factually established in the position where he is, but he is now expecting that he should be respected, and that respect, hypocrisy is expecting the respect which I don't deserve. Okay, so I might expect some respect from somebody, and that person will say, "Oh, you don't deserve it. You unnecessarily, you can't express yourself. You can't say certain things. Whatever XYZ. You understand what I'm trying to say. I know you expect that respect from me, but I personally think you don't have the quality." Devotee may say, So in that case, there is a lot of discussion about this hypocrisy, pratistasa, not the scope of this this discussion, but I just wanted to bring that for your kind of understanding. And then future, if we do some more classes together, we'll talk on this subject, with more detail. So hypocrisy is basically behavior of a devotee to expect respect, although he doesn't deserve it. But pratistasa is not like that. Pratistasa is basically, it's the rightful expectation the devotee has, conquer over gross and subtler anartha. But he is right in that sense that that he deserves it. But he's wrong that he's wanting that respect. Okay, so he's right in that sense that he has, brought himself up to that stage where he is able to conquer some of the, subtler anarthas. But he's wrong in the sense that he is expecting, he's wanting that respect. And in wanting that respect, he is closing the doors to Krishna Prema. So some of these elements also will be more clearer when we talk about limbs of bhakti in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And then some of the limbs, not all the limbs, there are 64 limbs, but we'll take, top 20 limbs, and then out of top 20, we'll take 9, and then out of 9, 5, final 5, 5 or 4 limbs. We'll try to focus, more on that. So we'll talk some of this aspect there, but there are different stages of bhakti, so there are certain, expectation, but this stage that we are talking about is nistha. So one has, shraddha, and then sadhu sangha, bhajan kriya, anartha nivritti, and then nistha, fifth stage, nistha. He has, crossed the anartha nivritti. So that devotee who is expecting this, pratistha asa is in the nistha stage, so not ordinary person. So please be aware with that we are not talking about some ordinary personality. We are talking about very powerful personality. Right after that, he's going to get into ruchi, and then asakti, and higher, stage bhava and prema. All of that will starts coming up. So this devotee has crossed anartha nivritti, and he is at the entrance of nistha. So if he continues to expect pratistha from his fellow devotee, then he is not basically qualified to receive the Krishna Prema. And what is the remedy for that? The solution, Bhakti, the solution is given by Raghunath Das Goswami Maharaj, which is translated by our acharyas, our Prabhupads, that one should basically serve the commander-in-chief devotee of Krishna. So, my dear mind, you should always serve the incomparable, beloved devotee, commanders of Krishna armies, serving very, very exalted devotee, like serving his divine grace Srila Prabhupada, like extremely, of course, this person is already, crossed an anartha nivritti and he's about to get into the nistha. So for sure, he has to serve somebody who is in the nistha or higher than nistha. So definitely a very powerful personality here that we have to serve, because that exalted devotee who this devotee has to serve will drive away this dog-eating woman and will establish sadhu prema in his heart. Okay, so what's the solution? Solution is that one should serve advanced devotee. As soon as we give up the desire for prestige, the door of Krishna prema opens. Okay, so there are the same thing now. This is one way to present this. Now, same thing we can unfold also in different way, and we'll discuss some of those in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It gets very interesting. It will help us basically, elevate our consciousness in a right way, in a very perfected way, in a very systematic way as per the instructions of the Shastra. So the point here is that uh, being obedient to devotee is very, 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 very important. Not only when we are in the Shraddha stage, not only when we are in the Bhajan Kriya stage, okay, not when we are, associating with devotees or trying to overcome some of the anartha, but even at the higher stage, at every stage, it's advised that we put faith in higher devotee. In fact, even if we become fully liberated and go back to Krishna, he will be not directly allowed to serve Krishna. He will be allowed to serve through Srimati Radharani or through her, close associates, or through her manjaris and other expansion of Srimati Radharani. So that's what is the basically, we have to understand that devotee, dealings with devotee and putting faith in the devotee, we have to start learning from now, wherever we are, whatever stage of consciousness we are in. From that stage, we have to start putting faith. There are some guidance, there are some guidelines, and some of those will come again in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That's the purpose of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, to help devotee cultivate and support, give the enough nourishment for a devotee to cultivate the right consciousness and progress, towards bhakti. Okay, so here in this verse, devotee is praying, my dear Lord, please take away all of the sins that we have done, all the sins that is coming as a hindrance, coming as a resistance in my devotional service towards you. Kindly take that away. So we talked about, some of the anarthas, and also we talked about what is the process by which we can get rid of those anarthas. So that's how Sri Isopanisad finishes, and we'll take some time to see if there is any questions, and if not, then we'll have some discussions about our exams and how many sessions should we do to go through all of this once again, revise the whole nectar of instruction. As I said, that I found out that I have 110 slides. So I'll quickly, definitely 1 or 2 classes, we'll go through it, and then we'll get into Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, Okay, so with that, anybody has any questions, any clarification that needed? Is it clear?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari bol Mataji Dandavad.
Dandavad Pranam. And when are we thinking about the test, Prabhuji? When are we thinking the date for the test?
Yeah, I will discuss about it when we want the test. We can talk about it. That's one of the subjects that we have to talk today. Let's see, let's look at the calendar. So 19, 26, and then 5th March. These are the three next Saturday. Then 12th, 19th, 26th, all of these are Saturdays. So which one you want? 5th March is okay?
I'm good with that, Prabhuji.
5th or 26th February or 12 March or even 19th?
19th of February?
No, March.
March.
19th of the February is next week. I think we need to at least summarize
2 weeks.
the whole Isopanisad. At least few key verses. Or at least 1 or 2 classes we can go through it and then. Okay, anybody has any date that they want to propose for the
March
exam?
5th is good, Prabhu.
March
5th would be good. Just after the after the revision, it will be fresh in your minds.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so March 5th we'll keep the date for exams. And then, so 2 classes will have the revision. That's what we want, or we want just only 1 class? (19th and 26th). Okay.
Prabhu, I'll say like March 12th, Prabhu. Why? Because I mean, next 2 classes, you said like revision. And at least, one Saturday will require something to read, Prabhu. But again, as we are doing the disciple course as well. So
you'll have
some extra thing like.
Yes, you'll get the homework for disciple course too, like exams, not the homework.
Yeah.
That will be open book.
Yeah.
But that will definitely take some time.
Okay.
Plus you have to prepare for this one. So we don't have, I mean, we can push the exams a little far. We can get into reading of Nectar of Devotion. Not necessarily you have to take the exam right away. If you want to wait until maybe like 19th or 26th
No, Prabhu,
March.
on 19th, Gaur Purnima, we may have public program. We don't know at this moment. The situation is very good and we may think of that one also.
Yeah.
So maybe if you can keep our March 12th, it may be better.
March 12th is good.
Good?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we block the March 12th then. Okay, good. So I think I'm not going to really continue revising Isopanisad until then. So maybe like 19th and 16th. So 5th March, I think we can start. At least we can do the intro of Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of devotion is basically, I don't know, you can take as much time as you want. You can finish as quickly as you want. It will appear to you that at the same time, once we start unfolding, and then you'll say, oh, I don't know. It's very, very deep and very nice also. It has both sides of it. You can take it light, you can take it very serious also.
Prabhu, how many chapters are we doing, the whole book, or just up to chapter
No, first
Nine.
19th chapter.
19? Okay, all right, well.
Yeah, I've only 19th chapter.
Prabhu, for the Nectar of Devotion, do we have the book available with the Sanskrit verses?
No, we don't have Sanskrit verse, but I'll bring Sanskrit verse once in a while. But we basically read the Nectar of Devotion written by Srila Prabhupada, which is mostly essay format. That's the
We
book.
have to remember the verses also, right? We still have to remember the verses, right?
Yeah, a few verses that I'll give. I mean, there are so many verses, each section has, like, as we are reading Nectar of Instruction or Isopanisad. Likewise, Nectar of Devotion also has so many verses. The limbs of Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, and Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, all of them have technical definition. But Prabhupada, when he wrote the essay type, Nectar of Devotion, he did not really mention those verses. Rather, the translation of the verse is given and also the explanation is given. But a few verses we have to memorize, like Anukulenu, Krishnanu, Bhakti, Anusilanam, those type of verses, I'll give. I'll try to bring, most of the verses, key verses I have, but those are not given in the book. You are also not expected to know all the verses except one or two that you have to memorize. But to just kind of give you a better experience of the subject, I'll be talking through the verses. So everything that I'll talk, like what is sadhana bhakti, what is samanya bhakti, what is Vedic bhakti, what is bhava bhakti, prema bhakti, all of that will technically try to understand the definition of it in context of a verse. That's what I'll try to do, but that's not expected. A little bit more. That's a little bit more than what Bhakti Sastri course require. Bhakti Sastri course require very much reading the Nectar of Devotion books by Srila Prabhupada. That's all. We'll give you the handout that has few verses, not all the verses. So that's how it goes. But for our discussion, we'll try to understand a little bit more than expected, as we are doing, like for Isopanisad also. We need a little bit more than what is expected. Not a little bit more, definitely much more. So we'll do a little bit but at the same time, you all have to read. You all have to read, and I'm not seeing any homework. So homework should be submitted. Oh, one more thing I wanted to share, that this certificate is going to be from Mayapur Institute, and they are being very, very heavy right now. They're asking me tons of questions. Everywhere they're asking tons of questions. They are saying that devotees should basically really get into it, and they should take it very seriously. Don't unnecessarily distribute the certificate if people are not really motivated. If they are not trying to learn the subject, rather just run through the certificate. So many, we have meetings that happen, so they are asking so much things. So I request all of you continue reading, okay? And there's so many homeworks that I haven't received it. So submit your homework, and once all of that thing is done, then I'll be going back and looking at each and every module, and then seeing who has submitted, when you have submitted. I have all the emails and everything, and I'm going to use all of that criteria to decide how I should be scoring up, because everything is going to be submitted to the institute to give you the certificate. So take it very, very serious. It's not side job. I don't take it as a side job. I take it as a main job as a teacher. And as a student also, you also be taking it as a main job, whatever time. So that's what it is. Anything else anybody has? So what did we learn? 1 or 2 points from Isopanisad overall. Anything anybody can share? Like the last verse that we went through. What are some of the learning? Can we share? We have like 8 or 9 minutes. I want to capture some of this learning that we did just from the last verse. So just tell me, 1 or 2 points that you understood from this section. What are some of the learning? Who can say?
One is as devotees, we don't create sin or
So not,
but we still we have a narcissist.
not engage in gross
Good.
sins
Yeah, gross
likely, right? Likely.
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
know.
Like, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's our
No,
our
but that's
goal,
good.
right? I mean,
Okay,
that's
let me share the screen. No, but it's good point, Prabhu. Thank you. Very good point. I mean, I can't.
But-
Nobody can say, right?
I like
Are you
the
seeing the screen?
Yeah, I like the, yeah, we can see it. I like the diagram that you had that explained that because I've never seen it like that, and it actually explained it really well.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. So is there anything from the diagram that we can write here? There is some noise coming in the background. I don't know. who is-
Different types of anarthas, we can say.
There is some noise coming. I don't know. So yeah, yeah,
Different types of anarthas.
Yeah, what-
That we,
yeah. What are the different types? How many types? 4 types, right?
yes.
Asatra.
4 types of anartha. Okay. It is basically Asat, Krishna, then Hridaya, Darbalyam, then Tattva,
Tattva,
Vibrahama,
Brahma.
Aparadha.
it will be V.
Yeah, this categorization
then-
is good, Prabhu.
And then offenses like such as,
The avidya, ignorance. I think raga, attachment, right?
yeah, so cause
5
of suffering,
offenses.
right?
The 5 causes of suffering. Yeah. Sorry.
Desires for material things.
5 causes of. Avidya,
Asmita, I think,
Raga.
or something.
Yeah. So Smith and
Abdi Nivecha, or I think I pronounced that wrong, but
Univeses. Yeah, this is what it is. Okay. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesa, Asmita and Univesa. What else did we learn? So what is the solution for Asatrisna?
Nectar of Instruction, second
Like
verse.
which, yeah, what is that verse? Atyahara prayasa saparjalpanya magra. Jansangasya lalamcha sadbhir bhakti vinashati, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. What is for Hridaya Darbalyam?
Next, Nectar of Instruction 4.
Yeah, Dadati.
Dadati
Pratigrihnati.
Pratigrihnati. Yeah.
Guhyam Prikshanti. What else? Any other learning?
The solution for Tattva Vibhrama is surrender and chastity to Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra.
Yeah, so how Guru Shastra and Sadhu will help with Tattva Vibhrama? Who can explain that?
Like whatever misunderstandings we have, Prabhu, with the spirituality by following the Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. Those
Right. So those are the sources of knowledge, right?
Right. Yes. So, for example, to know who we are, Bhagavad Gita tells us, right? You are not this body, you're the soul. So that way Shastra is helping us to know.
Yeah.
And no misunderstanding about our identity.
Right. So we have this avidya here, right? Do we have avidya or not?
Yes.
So this avidya, what this avidya does? This avidya is responsible for this avidya.
Ignorance?
Responsible for Tattva Vibhrama.
Okay. Now I follow you.
Misunderstanding one's identity, Prabhu. Sir.
Yeah. Yes. So we don't have the knowledge, so we think we are this body, right? And then this avidya that we have, that is going to be dispelled by
Guru Shastra.
Yes. Yes. By Guru Shastra and Sadhu. So that is why by Guru Shastra and Sadhu. Other thing I think we discussed. I know that sometimes I talk a little fast, but you all should make sure that you are understanding. So Guru Shastra and Sadhu, because these are the sources of knowledge, Now, we can acquire from them and ask them, we are not who we are. What is one of the function of the Guru? The Guru basically shows us what is our eternal Swarupa, right?
Yep.
Tell yes or no quickly. I'm giving the answer. All we have to do is say yes. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that knowledge, is coming from Guru. Okay. Shastra is saying that Jiva Swarupa Nitya Krishna. The Shastra is saying everything. Who the Krishna is, the creation, Sarga, Atta, Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshnam, Mute. All of that is coming from Shastra. And Sadhu is basically, who is helping us, inspiring us to do. Okay, so these anarthas, what is the category of this one? All of this?
Subtler anartha.
Yes. So this is, so how we know we have this anartha depends, how sensitive we are towards the process of bhakti. This is very much, depending on our sincerity, okay? If you are not sincere, you would not find any anartha in yourself. You will say, I'm great, I made everything. Nobody is bigger than me all over the globe. And so many other prides and other things will come in ourselves, in our personality. But if we are sincere, then we can start saying that, oh my gosh, what is the, you should all chant the Sadgoswami, Ashtakam. Okay. Ati Denyam, there is one line where it says that they were like, so expert in Vedic knowledge, but Ati, Dinyam, they were so deen, so, humble. So Prabhupada also said, in many places that advancement in Krishna consciousness is seen by your humility. How humble we are. That's how we know how surrendered we are and how much we have advanced. And humility towards what? Humility towards the process of bhakti, the limbs that we have towards bhakti, the humility towards Guru Shastra and Sadhu, humility towards that. There are, other stuff too that I think is coming to my mind, but we'll talk later. There are 5 steps how to know that we are advancing the process of bhakti or not. And one of the step is that knowing that only by bhakti I can be happy. Only by engaging myself in the process of bhakti I can be happy. There is no other means. Although superficially I may try to find some other means of happiness, but that's not going to really give me happiness. So advancement also in the process, advancement means we have firm faith that what I'm doing is going to give me eternal happiness. Sardha Sabda Viswasika hai Sudhira Nishchaya, we spoke about that. So having faith in Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, if we have the faith, then this avidya will be dispelled. Not only avidya, this raga, dvesa, smita and avnivesa. In fact, all of these 5 goes away once we take the shelter of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. But avidya for sure, it's very prominent. And then our illusion that we have, will slowly and slowly go away. So these are basically subtler offenses. Why we call it subtler? Because sometimes we might not be able to, see those things. We might have that thing inside us. We might not be able to see it, but we'll see when we are being very sincere, very, very sincere. We take the shelter of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, then Shastra and Sadhu will act as a mirror, it will show what is our actual rupa. Okay, and then we talk the last part. What was the last part?
Desire for prestige.
Have you all heard about this Pratishta Asa thing before?
Yes, Prabhu.
So what is the problem with this Pratishta Asa?
It's the biggest impediment for progress.
It's very subtler, like subtle most impediment. So this one we can easily see, right? This one we can also see if we are very sincere, but this one you cannot see by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to show this to us, right?
Yes.
And somebody has to show this to us. So who is that person who will show that to us? It says that a commander,
Senior
a
devotee.
very, very advanced devotee,
Yeah.
a very, very advanced devotee can show it. So can we say that our Guru Maharaj can show it, or once Guru can show this? What is your answer?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
So you all agree that our Guru for sure is very advanced devotee?
yes.
Yes.
No question.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sees everything.
Yeah, technically the definition of Guru is given that he should be all knower. Prabhupada, I just read one of the purport today. Prabhupada is saying that the Guru is one who is knower of all the subject. But in real world, do Guru know all the subject?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that Ron? That's right? Correct, right?
No, I'm trying to discuss this.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So Pratishta Asa, it says that a commander-in-chief devotee,
But Prabhu, a lot of us
commander
don't
of the
have.
Krishna's army. It's a very, very advanced devotee.
Yeah.
Can, because this is very, very, very hard to see. We can't see it in a very easier way.
Prabhu,
So
when
answer,
we don't have a close association or Vapu Seva for our Guru, how can the guru, point to us?
Exactly. So I know that you all gave the answer. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I wrote it wrong. Pratistasa.
I mean, if
So if we do not have, let's adhere to that point. If we do not have association of our devotee, right? Then how our Guru Maharaj will know that we are in this stage of Pratistasa? Yes, that's good point.
Unless guru in the form of our Chaitya guru is somehow pointing to us. But I don't know how that works, Prabhu.
Yeah, Chat Guru is always there. I mean, he can
Yeah,
definitely do. But the answer to this one is that yes, our Guru can, but our Guru also cannot. Our Guru can if he is a very, very advanced devotee, then he can. But Guru doesn't mean that necessarily he's very, advanced devotee.
it could be our Siksha gurus too, like
So Guru can and Guru cannot. Guru can or can't. But if Guru knows us very well, if we have very close association of our spiritual master, and if he has been tracking us very well, if he is Utmadikari himself, Shastra says that the Guru must be Utmadikari. But I don't know how we know that everybody is Utmadikari. We have to see our Guru as Utmadikari, but not necessarily that person will be Utmadikari. So some of these things, technicality, emotion part aside, no emotion. We're just trying to understand the technicality of it. Emotion, of course, is that my Guru is none different than Krishna and he is knower of all the truth. But in reality, does he know everything? No. So this is basically maybe our Guru can or cannot. Okay. But sometimes our Guru maybe, sometimes, maybe not. Okay, so that's the right answer. Now there could be multiple follow-up questions on that. What happens if our Guru cannot? Then where do we go? Well, Srila Prabhupada is our Guru too, right?
if we listen to Srila Prabhupada's lectures and read his books,
So we can take shelter of Srila Prabhupada
and study them, then yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. Go ahead, Prabhu.
No, that was it. I was just, and you have to be sincere, right? So by listening to Prabhupada's, or even like, if your Guru Maharaj has lectures on YouTube, if you listen to them sincerely and take them to heart, then but you have to be sincere and really think about it. Otherwise you won't see it. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah. So most important thing is that if you are really trying to be a serious soul, we're not talking about coming to the process of bhakti and, there is certain, a step where you will get stuck. Everybody gets stuck. Nobody can say that I will not get stuck. So if we are really praying Krishna, then Krishna will give us the guidance. He will manifest the things in our life that will help us overcome our challenges. But in technicality, we need to know these things. Save it. So that's what we talked, we have to get rid of our gross sins, make sure that we don't have any gross sins. We assume that we don't have gross cynical, propensity, but who knows? We're not watching everybody's life, we might have something that might not be, easy to say that it's crossing or not. But at least this gives us a pathway. This is not the only way to give the
We ourselves know, right?
classifications. Mataji?
If others see or not, we ourselves know.
Saranam, yeah, Mananam Nididhyashanam. Yes, if you are contemplating every time that where I am in my sadhana bhakti, then you yourself will be able to also guide yourself. And in that case, Shastra will help you a lot.
Yeah.
The Vani, the context that we have about, different pastime, in that context, you can abstract the learning from you. So Shastra will be basically helpful for you all the way. Guru Shastra and Sadhu, all of these three will help you far way down. But Shastra, goes even further down. So yes, Sadhu definitely will help. Guru definitely will help. So these are some of the stuff, or we talked. The goal of life is to basically minimize our cynical mentality or anartha type of mentality, either subtle or subtlest, and sincerely proceed on the path of bhakti. And then at due course of time, things will reveal to us. Process of bhakti is not that easy also. Okay, some degree of advancement you can make very easily, but then after that, your sincerity, your trust, your desire, is very important. That will take you to the next stage. So determination that I have to help myself. Okay.
I need to drop, Prabhu.
Yeah, please drop. Whoever wants to drop, they can drop, no problem. I'm going over the time. So these are some of the things I wanted to talk today under this topic of how to remove the sin out of our way so that we can come close to Krishna. And also, don't just listen these things, Prabhuji's and Mataji's. Try to, see if we can slowly align our lives. Otherwise, it's not going to help much. Knowing is not sufficient. Knowing is one part, one step. Implementation is, another next step. With that implementation, there will be some realizations. That's another thing. So slowly, we have to make our endeavor to proceed towards Krishna. So sincerity is very, very important. And everything that we do with due sincerity, then Krishna will guide us. Okay. So with that, I would like to pause here. Hope everything is clear. We'll just go through. I'm just going to basically pull out some of the verses. Okay. I'm not going to have all of the discussion. I'll just pull out the verses and then I'll open the verse. So from next two class, what I'm going to do is that I will have this slide, not this slide. I think I have been moving it. So please be prepared. I'm going to have this slide here, and then we have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So 2 days. So first day I'll try to go through this 3 section here, and then the last or the second class will have this 2 section. I'll just bring out the verses on the screen, and then 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we'll see what are your realizations, what are some of understanding you have about that particular verse. So if you can revive your previous classes, we'll just see, okay, what do you understand from this verse? Sambhutam or Sambhutam, what is Sambhutam, what is Asambhutam? All of that we'll discuss, and quickly we'll go through these classes. So next 2 classes, we are going to have a lot of interaction rather than more, kind of group exercise. And do not hesitate. There is no right or wrong answer. Do not take it as a subject of the prestige. Oh, if I say something wrong, what devotee will think. We all know that we are trying to learn this science together. So just, share. That's how we learn. So with that, I would like to conclude today, and we'll talk more next Saturday. Vanchkalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavane Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Symbol Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. ISKCON Acharya Hi Divine Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Symbol Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna. Hari Bol.
Thank you.
Hare
Hari Bol.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Dandavad.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, one
Pranam,
quick
Hare-
question, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, boliye.
Prabhuji, can you please resend that question, I mean, module 5 question thing, Prabhu, module 5?
Yeah. You don't have
Yeah,
it?
somewhere I missed it, Prabhu. I mean, I don't see it in the emails, and yeah, I was just searching for it while you were talking now, but yeah, I could not find it, Prabhu. It's my apologies, and yeah.
No. I'll find it.
Yeah,
I'll
please,
find
Prabhuji.
it and I'll send it to you.
Sure,
Does it
Prabhuji.
help, Prabhu? Does it help? Is it sometimes it gets too much, right? But is it okay? Does it help?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, definitely, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Do you make note?
Prabhuji?
Do you make note or no?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, I have. I'm doing this. I mean, this physical notes side, and yeah, sometimes in the computer. So yeah, I need to organize that, and somewhere some things I'll be losing, and yeah, because of this move and everything, like then again I lost my book somewhere. I kept in the boxes and all. Yeah, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
I
I'll
need
see
to
you in
find
half
it,
an
Prabhuji.
hour.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Please send that thing, Prabhu.
Yes,
Please.
I'll
Yeah,
send it.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.